Hello, screenwriters, and welcome to Writing for Screens, the screenwriting step-by-step project, episode 149, step 149. My name is Glenn Gers, and I come to you every Monday through Friday, if I can make it, at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time in the United States of America. I come here to let you look over my shoulder, share my screen while I write a script. I am doing this in order to demystify the script writing process, because a lot of teachers talk about how to get the perfect script and what the perfect script is shaped like and what the truly great scripts are all like, but nobody actually says how you get scene to scene, line to line, from blank page to that. And I thought I would show you. I thought I would let you see the rough and tumble mess that is the screenwriting process, any writing process, truly. And so that's what it is. It's just a way to do it. It's not the only way to do it. It's not the best way to do it. It's just a process that I worked out for myself in a 25-year career writing for movies and TV. And I thought maybe it would help you when you're trying to write, you're facing a blank page and you're like, oh, that was a trick he used. Maybe this will help me. Try it out. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, don't use it. In fact, that will just tell you what you could do that's good for you. It doesn't matter. Everybody's different. I'm just showing you stuff that I think is practical. Try to keep it down to simple steps, simple things, not judging whether it's good or bad, whether it's going to sell or not. Doesn't matter. What matters is that you get it written, because nothing can sell if it doesn't exist. All right. Hello, Javier. Hello, B. B. Hello, Maratolitoso. I owe you an email, Maratolitoso. I know you're there. 99 Precinct. Yes, Friday. It is Margarita Friday with Javier. One day I'm going to just start drinking while I do this, and God knows what will happen then. Okay, let's get to work. Because we are, hey, Gene, we are actually getting someplace. We are actually getting along through the script and making it shorter, and that is a cool and groovy thing to do. Okay, so let us open up this document. For those of you who are just joining, what I did was I spent the first few months writing an outline, and then I used that outline to write a rough draft. It was very rough. The outline was not perfect. The outline is not everything is figured out and then you just write it. The outline is your basic theory, your basic ideas for what the scenes are, your choices that you're going to try and figure out in the rough draft. And now I am taking that rough draft and I'm trying to cut away the stuff that wasn't working. The stuff where I said, oh, I actually don't want to do that part. Or I said that twice, or I didn't say it well, or I've already made that point. So I'm just going through and cutting it down. And we are down to 80 pages, which is delightful because we started at 94. Trying to get to 60. That's not going to happen, but later I will start to look for even bigger cuts. Right now, I'm just going page by page from beginning to end, cutting. Okay. All right. Actually, Zena's not going to follow her. Oh, and this is another thing that's really important for those of you who are taking notes, figuring out how to cut things. Sometimes you cut them because the read is cluttered. In other words, I just cut a sentence. Boom, there it was. Now it's gone. Now it's gone. I cut that sentence not because it's going to make the script shorter. Shorter isn't everything. Page count is not the only thing I'm keeping an eye on here. Partly I'm trying to get the words not to get in each other's way. Like here, I was describing what happens when Madeline, annoyed by Xena, tries to walk away from her. And then I said Xena follows. But the truth is Xena is about to, in the next stage direction, go over to the phone and put it on speaker. So following doesn't really matter. So I cut that out, because every extra word that you're giving to the reader that they don't need, that's distracting them from the flow of the action and the characters, that's brain clutter. That's page clutter. And so even if it's not making it shorter, it's making it clearer. It's making it more dramatic. So that's what I do. See, now, for instance, hits the button. You don't need to do that. Puts the call on speaker. Hits the button. We don't need to know exactly how you put the call on speaker. Okay, this is kind of evidence. All right. See, the handset and her hand is useless. Yeah, that's not necessary. And either is as. Oh, italics. Got some leftover italics there. In the industry. Okay, the original margarita recipe from the 1920s. We have to take a moment here for two things. One, can I have that recipe? And two, my family was in the industry. In the margarita industry? In the bartending industry? And if so, in the 1920s? That was illegal. Or what? Let us know, Gene. You've opened up a can of worms and I want to know more. All right. You know what? I'm not even going to explain why. See, this is better. This reads better. All right. Let's see how we're doing here. This is reading better than it was. Sarah's here. Hello, Sarah. No, never apologize. What teeny goals can I get to practice thinking about stories? Oh, Sarah, you came to the right place, Sarah. Sarah, I am going to tell you. Partly, I'm just going to show you. I'm going to point you. I'm going to point you to my many wonderful videos, because the thing about this live stream is, while it is a wonderful experiment, the real lessons, if you just wanted to write something and you wanted some how-to tips, go to the first 3 sections on the page, the one that says Screenwriting Essentials, the one that says Screenwriting Tricks and Tools and Skills, and the one about writing process. Look at those videos. They're the ones that have big titles like this. Think in scenes. The stuff was just a little word picture for you there. Not one of these live streams. And that one, by the way, super helpful. Another one, How to Outline, which is the sequel to Why Outline. But especially when you talk about teeny tiny goals, I did a whole video on that called Small Steps. Also, while you're at it, create a ritual. Okay, so there you go. And also, dramatic action. Sarah, you have come to the right place for teeny tiny goals. Teeny tiny goals are my thing, my jam. Right now, my teeny tiny goals I'm demonstrating is just worrying about what's on one page at a time to make some cuts. I'm not thinking about the big picture. I do that at other steps. But right now, just let's make it cleaner. Great. Excellent. So especially on teeny tiny goals, the small steps and the create a ritual are super, super good for, if I may say so myself, for helping you figure out process, goals, little steps, how to survive that difficult thing of actually sitting there and getting through it. If you have specific questions after those or during this, feel free. But otherwise, I'm kind of trying to demonstrate. In this case, we're talking text-y. We're talking keeping the page clean and focused on the characters, taking their actions, not talking over describing. In this case, you don't need it. All right. Do I need, see here's saying, he keeps talking urgent confessional, having no idea he's broadcasting. Do I need urgent? I like confessional. I think I'm going to keep urgent because without that, the confessional sounds too comfortable. And I want it to be a little more pressed. uh, I might eventually cut both of those. Okay. That may not be enough. That may not be the end of it for the police. Yeah, that's better. The thing about that is he's not really actually fully confessing here. He's simply connecting. And also, I don't want to it's really a mistake to over describe how someone is feeling when they talk. In theory, the talk should be implying it. And second of all, it just slows down. Unless you're actually trying to slow down the pace of the lines, describing too much about what they're thinking is really distracting from the lines. So I tend to not say that if I don't have to. Although Javier, what you're describing is exactly right, but I don't think I would say it. Hello, Pedro. Oops, sorry. Hello, Pedro. Welcome to our Friday. You said you didn't do it. So far, so good. I am making progress, which makes me happy. Although I'm not actually making it shorter, but I am making it better. Okay, now we got 2 glares. All right. Is that the police? You know, I'm not sure that she. I can't. Like, she's bringing up the police. Who is that? I think it's who is that? Do we need this? No, we don't need this. I'm leading a group of to solve them. Investigating. I'm leading a group of web developers to solve the murder of George. So you're not real detectives. So you're just. So you're just. I am groovy. I am grooving. I am in the groove. I am driving ahead. We're doing good. Yes, baby steps is the name of the game. So you're just. I think there's some. Later on, he says some nasty things. All right, so you're not professional detective. You're not real. I see. That's not quite it. It's so you're internet losers. Internet no. So you're internet detectives. Internet There's a long chair of armchair detectives. You know, we don't even need that. I mean, it's... Okay, 79. We're cutting. We're cutting here. Citizen sleuths. Sleuths. It sounds just citizen detectives. We're citizen guardians. Citizen. There we go. So you're like Scooby-Doo. So you're internet. Scooby-Doo, you know? I don't think it's time yet, but that is a good joke. I'm considering it. Let me just see. I do like the Scooby-Doo. I think that may be later in the, you know what? I'm even going to make a little note here. Hold on. Be sure to make a Scooby-Doo joke. How's that? There we go. Okay. Citizen investigators. That's not short, but it's right. We're citizen investigators. That's just so hokey. Harnessing technology. Harnessing the power of technology. We're harnessing the power of technology. Crowdsourcing. We're crowdsourcing. Harnessing the power of technology. We're citizen sleuths. Oh, citizen sleuths. I don't know. It's so basically these three speeches from Xena are really like one. Right, so that whole I'm just see sometimes I've got like 3 or 4 lines that are really kind of the long the same thing. So I'm trying to see like Xena's speech here. See these 3 speeches? It's all one speech. That's all the same point. So what I want to do is build it to one single point. All right, she's already basically said web detective, so I think she's on to a new thing. Used to get away with. You got away with all that stuff you got away with. That's even better. It's even shorter. All right, let's just look at this. Let's just... Hi, Dan, from London. How's it going there? It's late there. Don't stay up too late, but I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Also, what do I know? Like, I don't like to stay up late. I like to wake up early. Other people, they stay up all night. They write at night. I have a friend writes all night, does not write in the day. I don't get it. Everybody's different. There's no rules. Good evening, Aaron. There are no rules. There are no rules. Okay, this is important that you know that. There really are. Like there's format. Have your dialogue formatted right. Other than that, do what works for you to make the good stuff and to get it flowing in a good way. We're a community. We're crowdsourcing. Yeah, she's not talking about technology. We're crowdsourcing. Now the thing about this is that's kind of threatening, which I understand, but the end of this is we're going to solve the case. What do you do? Why would you do that? We solve cold cases when the authorities give up. We solve the cold case. We solve cold. We're crowdsourcing. All right. This is too long. But at least it's not as long as it was before. All right. I love that she makes this like speech. She's like, why? What? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? It seems dangerous. Because it's right and wrong. Because it's right and wrong. Because we speak for the victims and justice. There you see, less words. And our lives are not very interesting. Have you ever caught a serial killer? Have you ever caught a serial killer? Caught one? A serial killer? Not so far, no. Now the problem is, yes, I've heard about that, but wasn't sure I wanted to watch it because of the cat killing that I understand takes place. Sounded just agonizing to watch. However, I've heard it's a really good documentary. Actually, one of the things that was on my mind was not that documentary, but a different Netflix series called it's about a bunch of people who had gone to a Catholic school in like Baltimore or Pittsburgh back in the 60s, and then decades later on Facebook they get together and they begin to talk about it because they all knew that one of the nuns was murdered. She was murdered because she was trying to reveal the abuse that was going on, and it's a really actually great documentary. And there was this cool web sleuth kind of feel, which was it's a while ago, and so it was pretty good. Anyway, yes, thank you, Eva A. How far cutting? I am on page 66 of 79. I'm obviously not going to get down to 60 because we're already past that, but I'm doing good. Yes, thank you, Kurt. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid is it's a really good script. You can watch that over and over again just to watch how it's constructed, if nothing else, because the direction, the performances, they're fabulous. But that's not what's amazing. Is that it's all resting on this brilliant script, which is so full of subtext and layers, and it's just solid. Okay. So anyway, Eva, is this it's a good documentary? Let me know. Okay. All right. So here's the problem: is that I've got some different ideas that I'm playing with in this dialogue, but I come to a threat, and the thing is that the threat kind of it's a what I call an adjustment. In other words, there's a development in the scene. A character brings up a new idea or new attitude and changes the dynamic of the scene. Having done that, I need to have the others react to it, but they don't. And that's a problem. I haven't seen Belfast yet. I confess I was just waiting for it to become free on one of the many streaming services that I subscribe to. I actually got a fair number of scripts are sent to me and shown to me because I'm a member of the Writers Guild, and the Writers Guild awards anything that's possibly nominated for the could be nominated for the Writers Guild Awards. The producers say, "Hey, want to watch the movie for free?" So that's always fun between Thanksgiving and New Year's. But Belfast was not written under the Writers Guild, probably because it was a foreign film, essentially English. For whatever reason, it was not among the list. And I just thought, I got a lot of stuff to watch. Belfast looks really good, by the way. I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm waiting to see. I know shortly it will become available on one of the... I am a subscriber to most of the streaming services, and I bet it's going to show up on one, and then I will be watching it. Yeah, I used to say I always. Now they've become so. It's such a formula, and they are very often kind of thoughtless in fulfilling the formula. Making a Murderer was interesting, although apparently flawed in some ways, but powerful. But by the time we get to the one that was actually most inspired of this, which was I can't remember the name of it. It's HBO, about the Golden State Killer, and the woman who wrote the book, which Patton Oswalt, her husband, finished trying to identify him, which was really admirable and fabulous. But the documentary itself was kind of hypey. It was kind of not... it's become formulaic to have certain kicks in the documentary style. And I find the documentary style gets in the way of actual knowledge and actual insight. And that bugs me. It was still a good documentary series, the HBO one, about Mary. I cannot remember her name. Forgive me. My life is full of things that That's right. The Keepers. I'm sorry. I got to interrupt myself here because Mohammed has nailed it. Mohammed, yes, the nun documentary is called The Keepers, I believe, and it's that's really good. That was before the fad had totally taken over. Oh, okay, cool, all right, good. If it doesn't actually show, because what I heard was just so upsetting. Cool. Yes, dangers all, but then again. Deacons, yes, he could get excessive aggressive, but the scene isn't over. So I need to. We're heading towards. The problem is, Norman is going to say, "You never answered the question." Why? They're going to start forcing. The scene is going to move to a new section, which is about Deacons proving that he is who he says he is. And if he's really pissed at these people, he's not going to do it. So. Da, da, da. Why would you do that? Why would you do this? See, when he says, why would you do that? And the last thing they said was about coming after us. That seems kind of like he's saying, why would you do that? As opposed to why do you do the initial thing? I'm going to have to clean that up later. So I'm going to move this, which is really this. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put it in italics to note to myself, this is a long form of the same thing. And I have to decide which one of those I like. Roque. See, I have a feeling that this bit here doesn't belong here. I don't know. I'll see later. True crime podcast. Let's do a fictional true crime one. Yeah, it depends. A good true crime is an amazing thing, as with books and other things. As with anything, really. Let's be honest. A good anything is great, and a bad anything is bad. So that's the problem. Yeah. Okay. All right. So you never answer the question. We don't need that beat. Why should we believe you are? Why should we believe you are who you say you are? Why on earth? Why on earth would I call a dead man's house and pretend to be a serial killer? Maybe you just want attention. Attention from a bunch of internets. You didn't know who would pick up the phone. Why should we believe you? How do we know? How do we know you are who you say you are? Why should we believe you goes here. And it goes here because that is he's pushing back. He's putting back on the track of the question. The question of why should we believe you? Okay. Tell us something that only the killer would know. Like something from a crime scene. Something the police didn't make public. Something with that. Yes. Like something from a crime scene that the police didn't make public. If I tell you something only the killer would know, how will you know if it's true? No, that's actually not true. That's not actually true. That's actually not true. Well, that's not actually true. Well, that's not true. There we go. See, this doesn't really, like, why is he saying this? In fact, this is all kind of repetitive. All right. Can you think of a way to prove to us your? Because if you can't, then why should we believe you? You know, this is just, we don't need any of this. Look at that. Look at that. We are cutting away. All right, now we have a big... So this whole thing is not right, because the point is he's trying to tell them had no reason for choosing, no pattern, no secret. Well, this is the same thing 3 times, so I had no reason for no pattern. It was, I would just say, I'm going to watch that bus, and whoever gets off it, I choose them. I'll choose them. I didn't think about it. That's no good. I was strict with myself. No reasoning, just chance. I'll have them home. Poison their food and get out. Well, that's better. Yes, I am definitely thinking of beats. When I say beats, I mean sections within the scene in which things change. In other words, in this case, the scene starts with Deakins calling to say he didn't do it, and then there's a little byplay between the people listening and a connection between Madeline and Deakins on the phone. And then Norman brings up this new element, which is about proving who he is. That's a new beat, a new section. In other words, for me, beat, and there are many definitions of the word beat, there's not like an official dictionary of screenwriting where people say this is what beat means. Different people use beats differently. Some people use it as a scene, like they say a beat sheet, and they mean scenes. What I mean is within many scenes, there are sections. There are people start with one kind of relationship or one kind of action, and then something that they do in response to that need changes it. They change the mood of the scene. They change the point of what they're doing. I am very conscious of that. That's what I think creates a great scene. Sometimes it's just one. Like somebody comes in, they want something, they say it, boom, that's it. But many scenes, especially a long one like this, there's many beats within it. If you look at the early episodes, I'm not doing that. When I'm writing... let's see, I don't have like a chart of when I did what, but after I finished the rough draft, I reread it, and then I re-outlined it. Let's talk about this a second. When I wrote the outline, I'm just trying to figure out the scenes, figure out the basic structure of the whole thing. But I didn't always get every detail of a scene in. I just knew the essential action of the scene. or it said in this case, several actions. This was going to be a big set piece with several steps in it. Because I was doing this for you guys to watch, I didn't want to over plan it. I wanted to move pretty quickly, so I left things a little loose because I knew that I knew how to write it. I knew that I've written this kind of scene before, and I could say, okay, if I know the basic things I have to accomplish in the scene, which was 1, 2, 3, he has to confess, they have to ask him to prove who he is, etc., etc. I didn't worry about how I was going to do it. So when I got to writing the rough draft, I was actually kind of groping. And sometimes I groped wrong. That will happen. Having finished the rough draft, I went back and I redid the outline. I kept a copy, and then I did a new outline where I tried to list all the things I had to fix and potentially a new shape for certain scenes. So if you look at the section where I'm after the rough draft, before I start this cutting, that's what I was doing. And you can see me doing that beat by beat. Okay. It's them. It's them. Strict with myself. No reasoning. Just chance. And I would follow them home and break in. Boys, they're going to get out as quick as possible. Quick as I could. I didn't want to know about them. What are those boxes behind you? Hold on. These boxes are things from my life. Those are mostly old photographs, and then most of the top boxes, in fact, the top 9, are some of us are old enough to have worked before digital, which means I have paper copies of my notes and scripts and things from the early part of my career, the first 25 years. So that's what those are. Old plays, old notes for novels, old things. That's what all those are. What is Deacon's goal here? I'll tell you, because I know. No, it is not to taunt them and get out of trouble. It's no. What happened is there's a podcaster who was hunting this Deakins, the serial killer. He was murdered with the signature of the serial killer. The serial killer, it was a cold case for the past 20 years. Nobody had heard from him. He had apparently died or gone underground. And all of a sudden, now he's got a new killing. He's calling to say he didn't do it because he had stopped. He's a retired serial killer. He stopped serial killing, and someone was using his signature, and he's upset. He feels angry and frightened and abused. So what's really going to be fun is that that's the end of the pilot, is that we find out that the serial killer didn't do it. And so therefore these people who are hunting the serial killer and the serial killer all have the same goal, which is to find out who actually did it. So that's the beginning of the story. But at the same time, the serial killer and the group do not team up. In fact, they realize that they are kind of enemies. And so that's what the next 10 pages are going to be about. wanted to have some kind of power in a meaningless universe. Boom. We have no control, so I took control. I made things happen. Because I stand in this world without some kind of meaning. Power. Meaning? Power? Reason. Meaning. Oh, wow, that sounds great. Interview with assassin. That's great. How cool. Interview. Oh, that sounds like fun. I'm writing it down. Sometimes I do things on paper. To have some kind of power in a meaningless universe. In this abyss. Look at that. The FBI profile says you took weeks and months to learn everything about them. How did you see the FBI profile? Well, there's like books where people, like experts, figured out what it must have said. Yeah, that's not right. We don't need this. All right. It's wrong. So everything that everyone thinks about you is wrong. FBI was. How did you see an FBI profile? Websites, books where people, like experts, figured out what it must have said. All right, boop, boop, boop. I think we should tell the police you didn't do it. We should tell the police you didn't do it. No, please don't. Why not? Because they'll want to know how we didn't do. How we know. Because they'll want to know how we know. In that. And then they'll want to talk to him. Talk to me. If we don't tell the police that you didn't know, yeah, then they're going to waste their time trying to find you. working for you. They're going to waste their time. They're going to waste their time. If we don't tell the police, they're going to waste time with you. Focused on you. They're going to waste their time focused on you. If we don't tell the police, they're going to waste their time focusing on you. All right. Oh goodness, it's almost been an hour. Hey, we got 2 pages cut today. 2. I think that is cause for celebration. And starting that weekend, I have a feeling Javier has already started. It has been so marvelous to share this with you guys. We are making progress. We are on, in case you didn't see it, in case you didn't notice, we are on page 70 of 78. You can see it down here in the bottom corner. See it, bottom left corner. That's where the page count is. And we have made real progress. We are actually making this smooth enough to reread and start to think about rewriting to make it actually good. That's the process. That's the plan. And that's what we're going to do. Starting, let me just check my calendar. Monday. What's happening Monday? So this is April Fool's Day. Monday, it looks like I am clear for Monday. I will see you guys Monday afternoon. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. And I think you know where I'm going. Go write something.